Today, I'm going to be evaluating the planners that I've used for the first half of the year and deciding whether or not I'm going to stick with the ones I'm currently using or make some changes. Hey guys, I'm Tracy and this is A Girl with Plans. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by because today is going to be a planner chat video. These are my favorite videos to watch. I just like watching the different planners people are using, how they're using them, hearing like their takes on them, like whether or not it's working for them or not. Because sometimes even when they're talking about how it's not working for them, my brain goes, I could really use that planner for something like this. So sometimes just hearing people talk about how they didn't like it can make me actually like it. So it's very interesting, which is why I really like filming these videos as well. So what I have in front of me is kind of my current lineup. I say kind of because one of these planners has already made an exit and another planner has come into its place, but I have it here because I did use it for at least 5 months. However, if you caught my 2025 planner lineup video that came out in the fall of 2024, you may realize this is a substantially smaller planner stack than I actually started the year with. I was overly ambitious at the beginning of the year and I had a good number of planners in my planner stash. I still have a good number of planners in my planner stash. We won't go into that. Maybe we'll save that for another video. And I was like, ooh, what can I use these planners for? So like I had a planner to like practice Spanish. I had a planner to practice hand lettering. I had a planner to like try to like learn astrology. That all like failed miserably like the first month of the year. So I quickly like removed those from my lineup. I'm like, I'm not going to keep them here. I'm not going to decorate them or anything like that because they're just going to waste. And then I kind of already considerably downsized. This is a downsize for me. So we are at a manageable level and we're going to see if maybe we can even downsize these a little bit more or just, keep them as is. So with that said, let's go ahead and kind of evaluate these one by one. All right. So I said we're going to go through these one-on-one and now I have two planners in front of me. That's because these two planners go hand in hand. These are my catch-all planners and they do work in unison with one another. This is a daily and this is a weekly. So I use this to map out my days and I use this to give me a picture of my overall week, which essentially helps me map out my days. Does that make sense? So these are my catch-alls, which means they catch everything. So they catch everything that's important in my life, everything that has a time or a date that I need to remember. While, I have other planners in my lineup, which you definitely saw in the intro and I'll be talking about in a moment. Some of the information in those planners may also make their way into these planners because when I'm talking about mapping out my day, that is where some overlap happens. And I definitely want one or two places where I can kind of see that overlap and bits and pieces from all my planners need to be put in here. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of like an elevator kind of talk about how I use these particular planners. Excuse me, I almost lost my voice there. So this is the Hemlock and Oak Daily Planner. This was part of my initial lineup for 2025. However, it was going to be a daily journal instead of my catch-all planner. If you do a search of Hemlock and Oak Daily Planning on YouTube, you will likely come across tons of videos, well, maybe not tons, but a majority of the videos will be about journaling. A lot of people use this for creative journaling, stamping, stickering, stuff like that, because this is really, really nice paper. I think it's 80 GSM, or no, 80 pound, maybe like 120 GSM. I don't know for sure, but it's really nice paper. You can see it's not super like dark either, the lines and everything, so you can easily write over it. And the fact that an entire year is in one bound system is very, very rare. A lot of daily planners will come in quarters or 6 months or things like that just because of the bulkiness of it. So that makes this, very intriguing, especially for something like journaling where you want to have everything in one place, which is why a lot of people use this for journaling. And I want it to be one of those people. However, fast forward to early on in the first week of January, and I had yet to use this as a journal. I wanted to use it as a journal, and I think I sat down to write in it as a journal, and I'm like, what do I write? So I quickly learned that, 2025 is not the year that Tracy daily journals. Maybe 2026 will be that year. Hang tight. We'll see. We might try it again. Might as well try, right? But I did not want this planner to go to waste. So I had already had a planner that I was using for like the first few weeks in 2025 as a catch-all planner. It had daily pages. It also had a weekly overview. It was an undated planner, and it was a planning system that I had previously used, so I was familiar with it. But because I previously used that, I really wanted to try this. Trying something new, there's some excitement about that anyway. So I replaced that with this. I figured I can go to that anytime. It was a disc-bound system, so I can definitely go back to it anytime. So I wanted to, put this into its place. And I quickly fell in love with this. I really, really did. I really like this planner. It works well for me. I need the hours. I like the actual hours that they have in here, the 5 to 11. A lot of the other planners that I do have a shorter time frame. So I personally like this hours more than all the other ones that I have thus far. Plus, you just have this blank space over here that does have check boxes, so you can use that as a task list, and that is what I use it for. I do have videos showing you how I use this planner. What I do is I obviously can't get too into the nitty gritty as far as after the pens, just because this planner houses a lot of my work stuff in there too, and I don't want that on camera. But you can watch some of the weekly reset videos where I actually set up the planner so you can see how I plan on setting up for the next day. And I do fill in my schedule. I fill in some of my personal to-dos because I have a running work to do and a running like personal to-do list. So you can kind of see that part of it. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this planner. And because I've been ranting and raving about it, I think there'll be no surprise to say that this is definitely going to stay in my lineup for the rest of the year. And maybe for the first time ever, this will be the first planner that gets fully complete from start to finish. I mean, I guess the first few weeks aren't fully complete, but this will be the first time that's happened. A lot of times I switch planners randomly throughout the year. So I've never quite finished one in its entirety. So that's kind of exciting, and I want to challenge myself. With that said, full disclosure, I don't really do much planning on the Saturdays and Sundays daily pages on here. I try to, but then I realize I just don't like to. I don't really like to plan out my Saturdays and Sundays too much. I want to have a lot of to-dos. I want to get a lot of stuff done on those days. But in actuality, I want to also be a little like flying by the seat of my pants when it comes to the weekends. And if an opportunity comes up to go and like have fun and not do anything that's on my to-do list, I'm going to take full advantage of that. So I really do not want to plan for Saturdays and Sundays. And I rarely do, even though I set them up. But I actually think I'm going to stop setting up the Saturdays and Sundays and maybe just use it for some journaling or something like that. There we go again. So we'll see. But Monday through Friday, I do use. But yeah, that's staying in my lineup. So then as a companion to that, I introduced this planner at the same time that I brought in the Hemlock and Oak. And this is a Kelva Plan dashboard planner. This is a great planner. It is great because unlike a lot of the other dashboard planners that are out there, this you have complete free reign over here. You can do whatever you want. You can decorate. You can just have a lot of space to write, which sometimes is what I do. I would say half the time I decorate it all up and I get really creative and I've had a lot of fun doing it. And half the time it's just pen and I just write a brain dump here. So yeah, that is why I do like this sometimes. And I just have a lot of space to do whatever I want. And then of course you have your weekly overview. There's no explanation needed. I use it as it says. And like I said, over here, I kind of do it's kind of a brain dump to-do list. Like I brain dump all the things that I think I need to do and some things that I have to do all on one page. And that helps to guide my daily to-do list. So if I have like a whole bunch of stuff I want to get done that week, I need to start breaking it down by what day I really can squeeze that in, which is where this helps. I can see where things are kind of full and where there might be extra space on days to put in some certain task. So that's how this helps me plan for this. This is almost like a pre-planner, and then this is my planner. But with that said, I don't know if it's the planner, and I don't want to say it's not the planner as far as layout or anything like that. It might be the planner as far as size, because I am going smaller and smaller, it seems, in the size of planners that I'm like drawn toward. So it might be a size issue. It might be a little bit larger than I like. But it just might be the fact that I've been in a planning rut like for the past 4 months. Like literally March through June, I've been like in a little bit of a planning funk where I just haven't been as motivated. You probably haven't really seen as many Plan With Me videos. They've kind of been dispersed and things like that, but I just haven't really been on top of them as I need to be. And this particular planner, I have been pretty consistent about setting them up on Sundays. Saturdays or Sundays is when I usually like to set them up for the next week. And I'll set them up by doing my list and all the other stuff, but then I really don't revisit it throughout the week. So I'm not really adding to the list. I'm not really checking things off. Basically, I brained up everything here, so it kind of goes to the forefront of my brain, and now it's like a new memory. And because of that, I can remember the stuff and then put it in my daily. Now, while that does tend to work, I think just the process of putting it on paper the one time really helps. I feel like it could be a little bit more helpful if I did visit it a little bit more frequently, because as good as my memory can be at times, at others, it's horrible. So I am forgetting things. And those things end up going on the next week's to-do list, and then the next week's to-do list, and the next week's to-do list. And I feel like to be a little bit more productive, I need to remember them, and then we need to remember to add them to my dailies, which means, if I set this up on Sundays, then I probably do need to revisit it on Tuesdays, and then again on Thursdays. That's it. I don't need to revisit it every day. I just need to revisit it every couple of days to make sure that everything that is now on here is being transferred to my dailies, and I'm not forgetting about them. So that's been kind of the issue. Again, I don't know if it's the planner or what. It might just be the fact that, like I said, I've had struggles this year when it comes to everything and anything, including planning. But with that said, I'm thinking, will like bringing in something shiny and new help? Well, this isn't shiny and new, but it is a planner that I have been away from for a few months. So I did have volume 1. This is volume 2. So volume 1 is January through June. This is a daily planner, an Estelle daily planner. And you get 2 of them together. So I got 2 of them together, 2 books together. And the reason why you get 2 is these are dailies. I'll just show you this really quick. So here is your weekly. It's Tomoe River paper, so it is kind of hard to pick up. But you just have square boxes for your days of the week, plus like a notes box. And then you have 7 daily pages immediately following it before you get to the next week, and then the 7 daily pages. So when I was using this earlier this year, I was using this for social media planning, and I did do some setup videos of that, so you can see how I used it and stuff like that. I did not use these for daily pages. I use these for specific topics or categories. So for instance, YouTube videos. I would sit there and cover this up and then put an icon that said YouTube. And this is where I would kind of write out what videos I needed to film for YouTube during that week. So I use this more as notes pages. I have really struggled when it comes to social media planning. That's another story. But I have this one in my stack, and I'm like, you know what? This would be really good as a replacement for the Caliber Plan dashboard, because I have a weekly overview, plus I have tons of room for list. And they can now be divided by pages. So now I can make specific lists. Now I think for my catch-all, I pretty much only need one list. list, which, leaves 6 more pages free. We'll talk about what I'm thinking about using those for in a bit. But I think this could be a really good catch-all. And to kind of help excite me a little bit more about it is because of its compact size. Not only will this serve as a key supplement to this, as far as providing a place for me to look at a weekly overview as well as pages to do to-do lists and brain dumps, this can also go with me to work. So I want to call this an on-the-go planner, but in actuality, the only place it's going to go with me to is work. I'm just not going to put it in my purse to like carry with me to the grocery store or to a friend's house or anything like that. Maybe if I go away for the weekend, this will come with me. I don't know. Maybe that'll make it more on the go. But I'm thinking it might be helpful. That way I have something with me that I can refer to quick. As new things come up, I can add it to this to be later transferred to this. So I'm thinking that could be a good benefit to this. And not only will it be a supplement to this, but it'll serve as kind of like an on the go. So I'm super excited about it. So yeah, that's like a pretty big downsize. I mean, just size wise. So I think this could be interesting, and I'm really, really excited for the first month to see if it works. If it doesn't work, this will probably just end up coming back. Let's be real. But with that said, let's get to the next one. This is going to be a shorter chat because I did a whole video about this. This is the Erin Condren Daily Duo. And I used this for the first 5 months of this year. I used this for my fitness and wellness tracking. And this is the daily pages. I do need a full-on daily to track everything that is fitness and wellness. The Erin Condren did add a like weekly overview, and this is what I use for my planning. So this is what I use for meal planning and workout planning. It worked okay. It worked fine. The hindrance, which I talked about, I think it was like at the beginning of June, end of May. I think it was end of May, where I made the switch from this planner to another planner. I kind of talked about some of the issues there. So definitely check out that video. It is in my fitness and wellness playlist. So check that out. Plus, if you check out some of those, you can kind of see how I utilize these as well. But what I changed this to at the beginning of June, so I swapped this out. So this has an entirely blank month in here. Has a lot of blank days too, but it has an entire blank month. So I swapped this out on May 30th or May 31st to this guy, the Passion Planner. And just as like an elevator talk, one of the main reasons why I swapped it out, there we go. Look at that size difference, guys. That's a pretty big size difference just because you have to take into account the coil. So the cover is 7x9 of the Erin Condren, but with the coil, it's much larger. This is so much more compact. And then we can just look at it like that. I mean, it's so much smaller. And as I mentioned, when I talk about fitness and wellness, I always say my fitness and wellness planner, but it usually, it pretty much is just a tracker because I track a lot of it throughout the day. I have a lot of stats that I want to track as far as wellness goes. And then I do like to kind of do a deep dive type tracking when it comes to workouts as well. So, I need a daily, and I need it to be compact now. Cause like I said, I do it throughout the day. And this really spoke to me. I ordered, a couple of years worth, which means I have quite a bit on my shelf during Passion Planners, because this is a Passion Planner Daily, during their Pi Day sale where they have marked down certain planners to $3.14. So like I purchased a whole year for like $13. So that's why I have 2 years worth. So these are just quarterly. So you do need 4 for the entire year. I started this at the beginning of the month. I have already done a lot in here. Here's one where I've used it. I still need to write my Apple Watch stats, but I can do that like 3 weeks later. But yeah, I've been using it. I've been using it. I've been using this and I've been using this. Like I'm surprised by how much I like it. It's new to me. So that's one reason, when things are new to you, you tend to use them a little bit more because there's some excitement about it. But functionally, I just feel like this can really work well for me. It's worked well for 2 weeks. I can see it working well, not only through the end of this year, but beyond that, which I'm happy about. Because like I said, I bought a whole bunch. So yeah, this is going with me, obviously, into the second half of the year, but this will only last maybe like, if I used it every single day, it would last to the end of August. However, I might like skip a day or two, like a Sunday, I might go, we're not going to track on Sundays. Then it might last a little bit into September. But I have another one waiting in the wings. So we'll have, another one coming into the mix once this one gets full. But yeah, I really like it, but it only has daily pages. So you have all of your daily pages. I believe there are 92 pages. They're all together, and then all your monthlies are together. Your monthlies plus your monthly goal setting and stuff. There are notes pages in the back, but there aren't too many. So you don't have weeklies. That's when I said I would come back to this. So I really do like meal planning and workout planning. So on some of those extra days that I have, so if I want to reserve 1, 2, or 3 pages for just a random to-do list, brain dump thing, that's going to be more than enough because I still have 4 daily pages left each week. So I'll do, like, instead of Thursday, I'll cover it up and this will be my meal plan. And then on this day, I'll cover this up and this will be my workout plan. And then what I may end up doing is I'll have 2 more notes pages now. This could be pages where I write health notes throughout the week when I'm not at my house. And this is with me on the go, i.e. work. So if I'm at work and all of a sudden a migraine hits me, or like the beginning of a headache comes on at like 1 p.m., I can hurry up and jot that down here, just so that way later on I can move it in here. Because those little things are important for my personal tracking, so I can kind of jot down notes in here as well. So that's why I said this one is primarily like my catch-all supplement, but it's also going to be supplementing this in a way too. Can you tell I'm excited about it? I'm excited about it. So look, y'all. We've already like gotten rid of 2 kind of clunky planners and these alone. Can y'all believe this? I can't. And then we have this guy. This guy makes an appearance on my channel quite frequently because I love to decorate it. This is the Happy Planner monthly layout. Look familiar? When I say monthly layout, sometimes it gets confusing because, monthly calendar, monthly layout. But this is the monthly layout here. So I use this for my social media planning. I won't get too much into this, but we do have some discussion to talk about in a minute. So yeah, I've been using this. Like I said, I was using the companion to this one. So like the first book, volume 1, I tried to use that for the first half of the year. I just couldn't stick with it. Although I've been off my game when it comes to social media planning this entire year. And it's really, really stressed me out and has completely like messed up my schedule as far as like filming schedule. Y'all don't want to hear about that. But basically what I mean to say is I think it's extremely important that I have a planner for social media, but I need to use it. And I have to use it because I don't want to treat social media like work, but in a way I need to be almost as stringent as far as the planning portion of it, like work. So that way I can stay ahead and I can keep it fun. And I feel like I have to film 4 videos a day just to catch up. I don't want to do that. I want to film like a video every other day when I'm kind of like have things to chat about. Because when you film 4 a day, you kind of run out of things to chat about. But yeah, so I've been using this, you've kind of seen like me decorate this. This is more fun to decorate. I do use it for a purpose as far as monthly overviews, but this is kind of the meat of the planner. And this is just your checklist. And I use like 1 whole page. It's for like my YouTube video ideas. 1 whole page might be for like photo ideas or shorts. And 1 whole page might be for like any affiliate teams or PR teams that I'm on. So that's kind of the thing. However, like I mentioned with my catch-all weekly, I was only coming in on Sundays and setting it up. This one, I come in a few days before the end of the month and set it up for the next month. And I brain dump a whole bunch of stuff. Not really a whole bunch, but I do brain dump stuff on these pages. And then I don't visit that again either. So I feel like this is all the space I really need when it comes to social media. It's just maybe because it's lacking that structure that I don't stick with it and I don't visit the planner as much. So I think I'm going to also move this to the sidelines. This might be very temporary because I may have another purpose for this for the second half of the year, but I don't think it's going to be social media. And I don't know exactly what my social media planner is going to be, because it may be this one. This is a Cora Crea Crafts. Can y'all see that? It's an A5 ring system. It may be this Amanda Rach Lee Bujo that is already decorated for me. I got this at Go Wild, and this I had completely forgot about. When I started brainstorming my layout, I've already even set up, like, put the dates on the calendar for July, because this was going to be my planner. And then this one entered the picture. And then sadly, Go Getter Girl has decided to close its doors. And they have a fairly large planner. It's a 10 by 10. I just ordered it. I'm waiting for it to come in. I just ordered it. So I haven't started waiting for it yet because it hasn't shipped yet. Because it's like 3 hours ago I made that purchase. But that is just a weekly. But it has some like unique features to it that could also be helpful for social media. It's like a weekly guided journal, but I would ignore the guided journal part and kind of focus on the other part. So that's also a contender. I feel like these two more so are probably a little bit higher probability than that one, just due to the sheer size of that one. The size of that one might be helpful come November, but not right now. So let's just quickly show you these. So this is the Cora Crea Crafts. This is the planning companion. So I got the entire set. This stuff can be purchased separately, like the planner pages can be purchased, the cover can be purchased, the vellum like sheets can be purchased, or stickers, everything. But I got the whole set. I'll just quickly show you. I made these. So this plastic stuff, this is a cutting mat that I got from Dollar Tree, and I cut it down. It was super easy to cut down. I used it with my little Temu paper cutter, and I was able to punch it with just a handheld punch. And look, does this one I didn't split? No, that one I didn't split, but some of these I even split so I can take it off as a ring. So I did those, and then I made these little page finders. See? See, I already set up the month. I just put the dates on, so I didn't really set it up. So it'll be easy to take these off if I didn't want to do it. But you have all your months together because it's an undated planner. A good amount of your undated planners do function like that. And then we have, this is kind of, let me turn to a blank week. Some of these are already pre-decorated. So like this was already there. I did add this because this is what I was thinking of doing for social media. This is a habit tracker. I don't have it completely lined up correctly, but it's fine. That way I can check off as I do certain things for videos. But this is, let's see, here we go. This is what the layout looks like. It's just a horizontal layout with your trackers down here. So you don't have any real space for like notes or brain dumps or anything like that in the weekly, which isn't much of a problem because last year I used a teacher layout, and with that particular layout I ended up having like they didn't really have a sidebar, so I like covered the sidebar with stickers. So I really didn't have a brain dump section there either. But I think this could be helpful, provide structure with the actual days of the week so I can plan certain things that I need to do on certain days. There's also some blank paper in here somewhere. Where is it? Right here. So I have a few sheets. I can obviously cut stuff down to size and now just hole punch it in there if I want more. So this is a contender for my social media planner. You might have to wait until I do this setup to figure out which one I go with. And then this one I got at Go Wild. And this is just 6 months. So it makes it perfect for starting the second half of the year versus the first half when you know you're going to have to find something to replace it with come June if you love it. But this has a lot of things that would not be relevant for social media. That's the only thing that's like giving me pause. But I'm not sure that I could ever really use this as a catch-all. I guess I could, but I don't know. So you have these pages here. So you have a decent amount of pages here that you can kind of have fun with, do some annual stuff, some annual tracking, maybe just have fun with it, decorate it, doodle, whatever you want to do. You don't actually have to have an intent for some of these pages. You can just have fun with it. Make a sticker graveyard or a washi graveyard. Means like all your little scraps, instead of throwing them away, just put them here. So see what I said? It's already filled out for you. It's a bullet journal. It's already filled out for you. Look at that. So you have a whole bunch of trackers, more trackers than I would ever need for anything in my life, let alone social media. But I could try again to do monthly trackers. I'm horrible at monthly trackers. This is supposed to be, I guess, you can kind of use this for anything. You can use this for mood tracking, symptom tracking. So this is your key, and you would color in a certain color and then write what it is. So if it was mood tracking, you would do like faces, like smiley face, frowny face, stuff like that. But if you were doing like pain, you could do like headache, bloat or something like that, and then color things in. You could do anxiety levels and do a scale 1 to 5. So you can kind of do a lot of stuff. Again, if I use this as a social media planner, this goes a little bit by the wayside. But I don't know if I'm at that level where I would even be consistent with it anywhere else. And then you do get 4 bullet blank Bujo pages in the middle. These will be really good brain dumps if I were to use it for social media. So this would be my brain dump section. It could also serve as, hold up, like this section. So I could have these 2 pages. I could just do kind of imitate this here. And then these 2 pages, I can just serve as a brain dump. I don't think I would need that much space. Because, and the reason why I say because is because then you have these weekly pages already set up for you. And I no longer have to brain dump certain things because they would just automatically go on here. So like I would be bypassing the brain dump and just putting it on here, like a video or something I want to create. I'll just go ahead and pencil it in for a certain day. So yeah, I think you get 5 or maybe even 6 weeks. You have a lot of weeks. How many weeks do you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you get 6 weeks. Because you do get those funky months where, like it might be a Sunday or a Saturday is like the start of the month, and then the Monday or Tuesday is the end of the month. So it is kind of 6 weeks. So you do get 6 weeks and then you start. I think this could be fun. And I think it could be fun because I don't have to decorate it. I can leave it black and white. I literally just have to come in, do something fun here, and then that'll be it. Like this is done. Oh, this is starting to make me feel like I want to use this. I was like all sold on this when I started even thinking about changing planners. I was sold on this come like at the beginning of June. I was like, I think I'm going to move into this on July 1. But I have 12 months worth in here, so I can move into this. I'm leaning toward this, guys. And if I lean toward this, look at that sexy planner stack. Is that a sexy planner stack or is that a sexy planner stack? I mean, this is very pretty. This is so pretty. I absolutely love this. I feel like I could use this for all different types of things too. This could be my new travel planner. When I plan trips and stuff, I've been using the vertical happy planner layout. Oh, I can totally use this. I'm leaning toward this just because of that. It looks so good. Makes no sense, but I don't know. The problem is I honestly don't think I will know what works until I try it. That's the problem. Both of these are fairly new to me. I have used a horizontal before for social media actually. So this really interests me. So I'm thinking I'm leaning toward that one, guys. You have to wait another week and a half to see if I change my mind. And then finally, this one's going to be really quick. It's only considered a planner because Happy Planner considers it a planner. And the look of it, it looks like I have a lot of pages left. Guess what? All of this is filled in. So I can't show you because it has my finances on it. This is a budget planner. The only blank sheets that I have that I use, so you can see a lot of these monthlies have the calendar. It has this monthly kind of budget overview, a savings tracker, and then that's it. It's missing a lot of the pages I need because I don't use any of those pages. The only pages I use are those weekly expenses. And I only have, I think I saw 1 back there. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 left. So I would only have 1 month left of this. I'm not going to go too much into this. Like I said, I'm only including it because it's called a planner. It's called a budget planner. So this will be the end of it. After I use all of these, I will no longer have this. I had 2 years worth of this, and I've enjoyed it because of the fact that it got me into actually tracking my expenses, and that's something I had never done previously. I do it by category, so I will completely hide this or completely ignore the word weekly, and I will just handwrite planning. So all of my planning expenses go here, or crafting, because it's not all planning. Sometimes it's like buying some like scrapbooking essentials or some markers or something like that. That will all go here. Then all of my food, so I'll do groceries at the top and then any like fast food or restaurants at the bottom, because I want to tally my expenses by category. And while I could do it by week and then color code it, just my brain, it's so much simpler to just go through and do it all by expense. So that's how I'm going to continue doing it, is by expense type. The reason why I hesitate to even call this a planner for me is because, like I mentioned, there are certain things that I've only been in like once a month, once a week. This one I really only need to be in once a week, and that is to write my expenses. And if I miss a week, then the next week I'm just spending a little bit more time writing more expenses down for the past 2 weeks. So I essentially need to be in it a couple of times a month. But as long as I track my expenses for the month, all of them gets written down on paper, it's fine. I would like to set some budgets again for certain expenses. I should have done that for June. I'm like, I'm not going to do it for June because I was like, I need a break and I've spent so much money. I was like, I'm not going to spend money in June. Yeah, I've spent money in June. So yeah, so I need to get back to that. But like I said, this worked fine, but I mean, it worked as note paper. Note paper worked just as fine. So with that said, I mean, that has to leave my lineup. I could use it for another month, but you know, let's start anew. I could bring this back. And the reason why is because I could actually use these pages to set up my budget. I did that before. I used these pages to set up some budget goals. What I didn't use before were these pages. So what I did was I franken-planned this with those pages I just showed you from the budget planner. So this was in the front, and then those budget planner pages were in the behind it. But maybe I can just try these actual pages and see if this actually works. I have some other options. I have tons of note paper. I have quad papers, you know, with the 4 boxes. So I could change it up. This I'm not really as worried about. This is, like I said, I can just use blank paper. So I think I'm going to try it. I think I'm going to try a category at a time. Like do column, one column for one category. So all of my like restaurant and fast food goes here. All of my groceries go maybe on the top 2 and gas goes down here. All of my planning supplies go here. All of my clothing goes here. Maybe I'll try that, see if it's enough room. I keep things pretty basic. I just write the store and the amount and the date. I could just write like 4 for the 4th. I don't have to write like 10-4 or whatever. So I might try this out for maybe a week or 2 to see if this works, if it's enough space. If not, I'll switch to something else. So yeah. So this is more of a notebook than really a planner, but I just want to mention it because it has shown up on my channel a few times. So with that said, I think I've talked myself into these 4 planners as my planner lineup for the second half of the year, with this one kind of like still a maybe in some part, and then my Calva Plan dashboard, which I don't know where I put it at. It's going to be hanging out on the sidelines in case something just does not work. But this is going to remain. This is the only one that's going to remain. This is my Hemlock and Oak Daily Planner, which I will be using as my main catch-all planner. This one is going to supplement that as my weekly dashboard planner. And then I'm going to use the daily pages for task lists and things like that, brain dumps and task lists. Plus this will go with me to work too. I've never really taken my catch-all planners with me to the office, so this will already be like a step up in my world. And then this is going to stay, but I just introduced this in June, so this is still kind of like a new planner to the lineup, I guess we could still say, because it's only 1 month in. This isn't going anywhere. I have a feeling I'm going to be ending the year in a passion planner daily. It'll be a different one than this because this only lasts 3 months, but I'm loving it, so it's going to stay. Like I said, I'm also going to be tracking some health and wellness in this to transfer to this when I'm on the go and things like that. And then I think after discussing it with you all and wishing I could hear your feedback, I think I might go to this. I don't know. I think this could be fun. And like I said, it's only 6 months. So then there's no there's no starting at the beginning of the year and having to find something else. Let's just go ahead and do this. I think this is going to be my social media. I mean, let me know. What do you think? Do you think this one might work better? I mean, even if you don't have a social media planner, you might have a planner for something extracurricular that might kind of have a similar type of use. So I don't know. Let me know. I think this could be fun. I'm not sure how fun some of these plan with me's are going to be for you guys. So the plan with me's are going to change. Just from the looks of this, they're definitely going to change. You might have seen that I'm still decorating my planners, but we definitely have taken a little bit more function into it, like my fitness and wellness. I do flip throughs to show you how I've been using it each week. My Hemlock and Oak Daily, I can't show too much function in it, but we can probably definitely set up some things in here as far as weekly to-dos and stuff like that. And then with the social media, I don't know. I'm not sure how much of an appearance this is going to make. Maybe we'll do some monthly setups and play around with this if I end up using this for social media. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if this is something that you guys are interested in seeing me do, or whether I'll just do it kind of on my own and not really film them. I'll probably do flip throughs just so you guys can see. I'm just not sure how a plan with me would work with this. So yeah, my content will have to change a little bit, but don't worry, I have enough journals, enough journals to set up to fill this space. And like I said, this is still kind of there for possible budgeting. And then my Caliber plan dashboard, I just love to plan and decorate, so this could still serve a purpose. I might bring it in every so often to supplement one of these guys, because I really want to just have fun decorating. Let's just be real. But I mean, this could also serve a purpose for if I really want to amp up my journaling game. I could try it on this level, maybe a line a day or something like that. We'll see. It's going to be how much time am I really going to have starting in August? Because July I should have a little bit more time, but come August, September, through the end of the year, I'm just not going to have as much time. So that's why I'm kind of thinking this might be good. This might be good. I just have to keep showing it because I just like the way that looks. We'll put this like this. All right, guys, there we go. So no rings, no disc. Well, wait, I don't have rings anyway in my planning system, but there's no disc right now, unless you count the budget. There's no disc. Ooh, that's scary, right? We'll see how long that lasts. But it could be interesting to see how I use these. Don't let the fact that I don't have disc planner in my lineup force you to leave or anything, because some of the things that I do in some of these planners you can definitely incorporate into your disc planning system. Even if it's a completely different layout, a lot of those things can transfer to other systems, other sizes, what have you. So I hope you'll stay along for this journey. I changed my mind a lot. So come September, you might see 3 disc planners in my lineup again. Who knows? But for right now, this is kind of what I'm leaning toward. These are definites. This is still a maybe. Could be replaced by the ring system. We'll see. So TBD on that. But my main planners are set. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this chatty video where I was kind of chatting about the planners that I used, and more so about the planners that I'm thinking about using for the rest of the year. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing to my channel, because we have some setups to do, y'all, and that should be fun, right? So yeah, definitely hit the subscribe button, and as well as that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I do release new content. I have cut down to 2 to 3 videos a week during the summer, just because I know viewership slows because people got a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, this is the time for me to take a break too. But of course, once fall hits, that's just going to amp up, because, we're going to have to start prepping for 2026, right? Not trying to scare y'all. It's still kind of far away, but Ain't that far. All right, guys. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch this chatty video. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time. Bye.